All right, now we're going to go over 1.4, translating words into symbols. So we're going to have a written out problem, and we're going to have to write it into an algebraic expression. Okay, so I went ahead and already wrote some words here that represent each one of these symbols. So if I look at addition, okay, some words that we could have would be sum. And remember, sum means the answer to, sum is the answer to the addition problem. Okay, so we're looking at increase, increase by, more than, add. Another one would be plus, in total. Okay, so there are some words that represent that plus sign. Okay, subtraction. Okay, so that's subtraction. We could have the difference, and difference is the answer to the subtraction problem. Okay, decrease, decrease by, less than, less. We could have minus, things like that. Multiplication. Okay, multiplication, product is the answer to the multiplication problem. Times, of, twice, tripled, per, kind of goes for both multiplication and division here. Okay, division, quotient is the answer to that division problems. Divide, divided by, half, per something. Another one we might have our equal sign. A word for equal is. Word for parentheses is the quantity. Okay, and a lot of times you'll see 5 times the quantity of 6 plus 7. That quantity means those parentheses. Another time that you might have to use parentheses is if we're looking at sum, difference, product, quotient, okay? Because those are the answer to those types of problems. And if we want the answer to like an addition problem or a subtraction problem, we have to make sure we put parentheses so we do those first because of orders of operation, okay? Another thing to remember is when we're looking at less than and less, those represent different things, okay? If you're saying 5 less x, we're taking 5 minus x. And if we look at 5 less than x, we're actually taking x and taking 5 less than that, okay? So make sure less than, we always switch the order because we're taking 5 is less than the x. We got to take away the 5, okay? So let's go ahead and make some algebraic expressions. Okay, translate each phrase into a variable expression. 3 less than half of x, okay? So 3 less than, so 3 is less than that half of x. So we're going to, less than means subtraction, so we're going to switch the order because we want to make sure we take 3 away from that half of x. And half of x is just 1/2 of x means multiplication. So 1/2 times x minus 3, okay? We could write that as just 1/2 x. We don't need to show the multiplication, minus 3. Or you can write it as x over 2 minus 3. So any way you write 1/2 x, all 3 of these represent the exact same thing. Okay. All right, C, half the difference between x and 3. So we're taking half of the difference. So remember, difference is the answer to the subtraction problem. So if we want to subtract first, we need to make sure we put parentheses around it. So the difference of x and 3 is x minus 3, and then we're going to take a half of it. So we multiply by a half. Okay. Another way you can write that, since it's a half of that, we could do x minus 3 all over 2. Okay. So either way works for that. All right, B, 12 more than a number. More than represents addition. So 12 more than a number, so 12 more than x, so 12 plus x. Or you could write x plus 12, because if you remember, less than, usually we kind of switch that order, but addition is commutative, so it doesn't matter which way you go with that. Okay. And then D, 9 times the sum. The sum is that answer to that addition problem. So if we want the answer to the addition problem before we multiply, we have to make sure we put parentheses around. Sum means addition, and we're taking a number and 9, so x plus 9. And then we're multiplying it by 9. So 9 times the quantity of x plus 9. Okay. All right, here are some common formulas that we can see. Okay. So the area of a rectangle, we all should know, is capital A equals length times width. Remember, area represents the space inside. Okay, the perimeter is the distance around that rectangle. So if we're looking for the distance, we add up all the sides. So it'd be length plus width plus width. And if we want to make that a little easier, length plus length is just 2 lengths. So 2 times your length, because there's 2 of them, plus 2 times your width. Okay. Distance traveled is always your distance equals your rate times your time. And remember, your rate is your speed and your time, t is your time. Right. And then your cost, how much something costs in a total, okay, is C equals N times P, where N is the number of items you buy and P is your price, which should kind of make sense to you. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and use these formulas for what they give us. Find the area and perimeter of a rectangle with the length 10 and the width W. Okay. So as we know, the area is found length times width. Okay. We don't know the answer to area, so we're always going to leave the A equals my length is 10 times my width, and my width is W. So 10 times W is just 10W. So the area of this rectangle would be 10W. Okay. The perimeter is 2 times the length plus 2 times your width. Okay. So perimeter we don't know. We're going to take 2 times my length, and my length we know is 10, plus 2 times my width, and my width is just W. So 2 times 10 is 20, and 2 times W is just 2W. Now, we cannot add 20 plus 2W because they are not like terms. So the perimeter of this rectangle is 20 plus 2W. And we found our area, we found our perimeter, so we're done. Example 3. You and your friends buy 2 pizzas at P dollars each and 4 salads at S dollars each. How much do you and your friends spend? Okay. So as we look at this, we know our pizza cost, okay, my pizza cost would be 2, because we bought 2 pizzas, times the cost of pizzas, and my pizza is just P. So the cost of pizza would be 2 times P, whatever the actual price was. Okay. My salad would be, we bought 4 of them, so 4 times the cost of the salad, and the cost of the salad is S dollars. So the cost of my salad would be 4 times S. Okay. So the cost of my pizzas was 2P. The cost of my salads is 4S. Now, if I want a total cost of everything, okay, the total cost, I would add both of those together. So my total cost would be 2P plus 4S. So this is the cost of the pizza, and this would be the cost of my salad. And we would add those up to actually get the total cost. All right. And then example 5. You travel H plus a half hours at 80 kilometers per hour. How far do we travel? Now, since this is asking how far we travel, that is actually my distance. And we know my distance is equal to my rate times my time. Okay. My rate of this is how fast did I go? Well, I went 80 kilometers per hour times my time. T is my time. My time is my hours, which is the quantity of h plus 1/2. So we know the distance traveled is 80 times the quantity of h plus 1/2. And there's your distance. That is how far you traveled. Okay. Now, if you did want to distribute, you could. You don't have to. And if I distribute, I would have got 80h plus 40. So either one of these would have still been my distance on them. Okay. Now, if you have any questions on 1.4 on translating, please let me know.